Hello friends. This is a Desmodium Unifoliatum with a very small leaf size, which is about the size of a rice grain. Desmodium Unifoliatum also features with purple flowers and hard, sharp thorns. Being a small bushy species, it has a long lifespan and widely grows in the mountainous central region of Vietnam. The species can survive in both full sun and partial shade. Unfortunately, my tree was kind of overdried and its leaves turned yellow and shed off partially. Hopefully, it will recover in the next few weeks. This is, however, also a chance that I can study the branch structure and perform some pruning work for the tree. I'll first clean the trunk by removing the branches that are at undesired positions and dead stumps to enhance its features of a mature tree's trunk, with a good taper, graceful movement and nice flare at the base. The trunk of a bonsai is among the most eye-catching features, which gives a miniature tree a real and natural appearance. You can easily get taper with a Desmodium Unifoliatum, because the species has a strong root system that creates a good flare to the base. However, some of the surface and aerial roots will coarsen fast if they are not controlled by pruning regularly, which equalizes the vigor among them. Next, the branches that are at the same position are selectively removed. Because the primary branches are already established, the disturbing thin branches and shoots are eliminated to clear the structure of the tree. This tree is designed to have a broom style, called hakadachi, with an upright trunk and a dome-shaped canopy. The primary branches are developed not only to the left and right but in all direction, with the first branch starts quite low on the trunk from the base. This does happen with mature standalone trees in nature, as they branch out in all direction at about 1/4 the tree height or even lower. You can find more pictures of the broom style and other shape of real trees in nature in my video with the link in the description box below. This tree looks very sparse and open from the original front side, so I will direct it toward the light more often to fill in the canopy more evenly. After finish cleaning the trunk, I start working on the branches from the bottom to the top to bring the canopy back in shape, and to construct layers and space in the tree, which, in turn, can create perspective and depth for the bonsai. However, I don't want to make kind of a flat, individual pad for each branch. There's still interference at some points that may give a more authentic appearance to the tree. The inner sub-branches that are too close to the main trunk are removed entirely, and the ones growing straight up and inward or crossing others are also cut out or shortened to the radially outward-facing buds. These branches on a real tree often don't get enough sunlight and die off eventually. Pruning them allows the tree to direct its energy toward new growth on the more desired branches. This lowest branch is quite long, and I want to shorten it back to get a finer sub-branches at the outer edge of the pad. The ones that curl around are also pruned back short. There are cluster of branches here. I'll remove the thinner one, keeping the two that are thicker and already have a good ramification. I continue to work on the next branches at the back and on the left of the tree, removing the dead parts, pruning the ones that grow straight up, and do some refinement before moving to the branches at the higher level. These branches are growing straight up, so I can remove them, keeping the more horizontal ones for the lower part of the tree. Branches will develop in a way that give most leaves the most energy given from sunlight. The lower branches that often are more horizontal and even pointing downward are also because of their own mass or gravitational force. The upward branches are natural at the top, where sunlight is abundant. The long, leggy branches at the tip are shortened to create some space between the foliage pad. That also allows light to enter the inner part of the tree, preventing the branches in the area from dying off because of the lack of light and air circulation. I move to the upper branch. This is the thickest branch of the tree. I kind of like it because it makes the tree to look more powerful, even though it is not the lowest branch, which is usually the one that's stronger than others. I start from the inner part by removing the secondary branches that are too close to the main trunk, and then prune back the inward and upward sections. This reduces the interference of this branch with the top part of the tree and form its own space of growing. This section is kind of too long and thick, so I'll prune it back to get a finer tip. This also can be pruned back. This branch is kind of hanging down too low that almost touches the lower one. It is a nice branch, so I'll keep it and maybe raise it up a bit later with wiring. As I work higher on the tree, the branches are pruned shorter and shorter to form the dome-like or triangular shape for the canopy. For this tree, I want to gradually develop the branches so that the tree's width will be about 2 times of its height. It takes a while to prune the top of the tree to get it more compact, or I leave only 2 to 3 leaf nodes for each branch. Here is the shot of the tree from above after I finish a rough pruning for the entire tree. It's still sparse at some region. Hopefully, it can fill in the next growing seasons to form kind of an oval shape with the larger diameter is from the left to the right. And now is time for some refinement work to prune the tips that are too long, or the one that hanging too low underneath the canopy. This branch is running parallel to the lower one for too long, so I'll prune it back shorter to make it look more upward and reduce the kind of boring parallel effect. There is a dead tip here, I'll prune it off. There is one that crossing here. And another one here. I think I'll change the front of the tree to somewhere here. From this view you can see the trunk with a nicer curve and surface root flare. The powerful branches are still there, but less noticeable, and they can be a distraction for the viewers from the original front. To make this view as the front, I need to prune some of the eye pokers here to clear out the trunk line, but not to expose it too much. That would make the bonsai tree more interesting. Finally, I finished the work on the tree today, and here is it shot from all angles after pruning. Thank you very much for your watching. Consider subscribing to my channel, and I'll see you in the next video.